Hello, Udemy, and thank you so much for joining me today. What we're going to go ahead and do today is we're just going to review, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth about how the computer works and how we're going to start programming. So go ahead and go to Scratch and start a brand new project, and we're going to first off delete the cat. So we're going to get our scissors all the way up here, and we're going to click on those, and we're going to delete the cat. Let's go ahead and look down here where it says New Sprite. And then let's click on the little guy with the hair right there. That's going to open up the sprite library. And I want you to go ahead and look up here and go to Animals. And then I want you to find the blue dog. Now, the reason why we're choosing the blue dog is because he has 3 different costumes that we're going to use in this simple little program that we're about to write. Click on the blue dog. Click OK. Fantastic. Okay, so if you watched that very first free course, we made the Scratch cat walk back and forth across the screen. Well, we're going to do the same thing with the dog, and we're going to encounter some problems, and we're going to fix them, and we're going to talk about why those problems occur. So just like how we set up all of our other programs, we're going to click on Events, the brown events blocks right up here. When the green flag is clicked, then we're going to get Control right underneath it. Forever, and then we're going to get motion, move 10 steps. And let's click on the green flag and see what happens. Yep, the dog's moving 10 steps, and he's moving pretty quickly. So remember, just because the dog hits the wall and stops moving doesn't mean that our program has stopped running. It just means that the dog can't go any further. If I click and drag the dog, he still wants to move. So I'm going to click stop and move him back over here. Okay. Let's now click on the purple looks blocks right underneath motion. And down here, where it says switch costume to dog 2C on mine, and then next costume. So we're going to go through each of these options and see what they do. So I'm going to go to Control, 1. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the next costume block. Now, for right now, it doesn't matter where I put next costume. It doesn't matter if I put it on top of it or underneath it, just as long as it's inside that forever block. So I drop it in there, and let's see what happens. So our dog is switching his costumes, and he's moving across the stage. Let's see what that looks like when we click on the Costumes tab up here at the top. So the computer is flashing through all of the costumes very, very quickly. So we don't want that. We want to slow that down. So let's go back to Scripts. And let's grab a wait function, and let's slow it down to see what it looks like. So we're going to get wait right at the top. And once again, it doesn't matter where we put it right now. You can put it on top, on the bottom, or even in between. So instead of 1 second, though, I'm going to put half a second by double-clicking and putting 0.5 from my keyboard and hitting Enter. And let's click on the green flag now and see what happens. So the dog moves, he changes his costume, but it's very, very static, right? And I don't want to use that very last costume, that costume dog 2C. I don't want to use that one when he's just walking. That's like a little inquisitive, like he's thinking about what he's doing. I only want to use dog 2A and dog 2B. So I'm going to stop my program right there. So next costume isn't going to work. So let's take out next costume, and let's put in the new one, or the other option. Switch to costume dog 2C. So let's grab this one and let's plop it in right there. And instead of dog 2C, let's click on dog 2A, because I don't want to use dog 2C yet. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we switched his costume to dog 2A, but he's not switching to any of the other costumes, but he's still moving. So let's get another one, and let's get switch costume, and let's change it to dog 2B now. And let's drag that one and put it, actually, let's do a test. Let's put it on the bottom, right here. Let's move our dog, and let's see what happens. Nothing seems to be changing. Let's stop our program. Let's take out switch to costume dog 2B, and let's put it on top and see what happens. It looks like he's flashing between them, but it's too quick. So the reason why that's happening is because your computer is reading the code like this. Forever, switch to costume 2B, move 10 steps, wait 0.5 seconds, and then switch to costume dog to A. But right here is when we start running into problems, because right after it switches to dog to A, it jumps all the way back up here to switch to dog to B, and that's why you see it flashing so quickly. Let's see what happens when we run the program again. See how it flashes? So there's a way that we need to restructure this to get our dog to look like he's walking in the right speed. So first off, let's go ahead and drag this out right here, and let's put the 2 in here. So now it just says forever switch to costume dog 2A and 2B. Let's see what happens when we click the green flag now. See? So it's doing it so quickly we can't even see the other switch. So let's set it up like this. Get them both out now. When the green flag is clicked, forever switch to costume dog 2A. How about then we move 10 steps and then we wait 0.5 seconds. After we do that, we can switch to dog 2B, and then we can go to motion, move 10 steps, control, wait, and let's change that to 0.5. And now let's run our program and see if our dog looks like he's walking correctly. And there we go. So now it looks like he's walking across the stage. Excellent. So now our dog is animated walking across the stage. But we still have that problem when we just said move 10 steps. Just said move 10 steps. And that's when he hits the wall, he just kind of keeps going. He hits the wall and he stops. We want him to bounce off the wall. We want him to turn around and face the left side. But we're going to do something else too. We're going to make it a little bit more interesting than just that. So we're going to use an if statement, remember? So if this happens, do this new thing. So if you're thirsty, you're going to get a drink of water, right? So go up onto control and find the if statement. There we go. So now what we need to do is we need to get a sensing block. So click on the blue sensing block, and we're going to get touching mouse pointer. And so remember, just like in the first videos, we can say touching mouse pointer or we can click on this little drop-down menu and we say touching the edge. And if we're touching the edge, well, what are we going to do? We can go to motion and get if on edge bounce. Let's drag that in. And I'm going to move my dog over right here and let's see if it works. Yep, it's working. But what's that problem again? You remember? We're flipping upside down. We don't usually flip upside down when we touch a wall and we're walking. Go ahead once again, and if you don't remember how to do it, you're going to look all the way down here, and you're going to click on that little blue eye so that he doesn't flip upside down. Click on the eye, and then we're going to change his rotation style, right? We're going to change his rotation style. We're going to change it to the center option. Go and click on that, and he flips upside down. Let's make this a little bit more interesting as well. Let's add a second part to this. As he's walking, I want to use that last costume. When he hits the edge, I want him to think to himself and change to that costume. So let's go to looks. Let's find switch to costume dog to C, and we don't need to change it this time. I'll put it right on top. And then let's get the say, or actually, you know what? Then let's get the think for 2 seconds block right here. And let's plug that in right underneath the switch costume. And I'm going to change it. Instead of saying, I'm going to have him say, have I been here before? And you can make yours say whatever you want. You can make him say, I haven't been here before, or I thought there were tacos here, or whatever you'd like. And I'm going to change that to, let's say 3 seconds so you have time to read it. Now, let's click the green flag and see how our program works. There we go. So now our dog is walking across the screen. He's switching costumes, and when he touches, and if he touches a wall, he switches his costume to dog C, thinks to himself, have I been there before? and he bounces and flips the other way. And that's it for this little review. Join me in the next video